In regard to knife design and specific products, I've got a few pieces here that we're currently making and providing to both the general public and the military, law enforcement, just whoever has a need for this particular thing. This is our belt knife. This is the most popular single knife that I'm currently having in production. We have a lot of this style, both with the military special operation community. Sell a lot to hunters and outdoorsmen and knife enthusiasts, as well as law enforcement, first responders. It's just a good general purpose working knife. This one in particular has a rubber handle. It's got the black castle finish. I've added a few serrations to it for fiber cutting. And just the overall design lends itself well to both cutting and pushing operations. It has a finger drop and a thumb rise, and the way the handle swell is, it doesn't slip out of your hand. The cross section is somewhat flat, so there's not an issue of it twisting and turning in your hand when you're using it in heavy usage. So just a good general purpose overall use knife. Something else I want to get into now that is just as important as the knife and the knife design is you got to have a way to carry it comfortably. You got to have a way that it's accessible, that you can mount it on your gear, your kit, your belt, or however you choose to carry it. So we put a lot of effort and thought into the carry systems with each of the knives and axes that we make. This particular sheath is a pouch type. It's a leather covered lined Kydex material. Every sheath is molded to the knife that it goes with, so it fits it perfectly. It's a pouch type, so it has a friction retention system, so you don't have to fumble with extra snaps and release catches. But it's still yet very secure. It's not going to fall out. If you get into a rough situation in a rough area, it's very unlikely to fall out. This particular sheath is designed to be worn either vertically or horizontally. It'll fit up to 1 3/4 inch standard web belt or most leather belts. You can also remove the belt loop and move it to the other side of the sheath for left hand or behind the back draw. So you have a lot of carry options with this. Each sheath is supplied with a variety of spacers, so you can space the belt loop away from the body of the sheath to fit the belt thickness that you're wearing. We have adaptations on the sheath carry system where we can adapt it for molly loops or a spring clip. Again, it gives various carry methods are available with each one of them. Another knife design that is got secondary functions to it. This is our SAR. This knife is the one that's made from stainless steel. I use CPM 154 high chromium steel, yet it's still a high performing knife. This knife was originally designed for a kind of a SWAT team, rescue team in California. And so they wanted extra capabilities built into the knife. Therefore, we did the coarse serrations across the top for sawing and fiber cutting. It has a glass breaker pommel on it. So if they had to rescue somebody from a car and the windows were rolled up, that's very effective at breaking glass. The design of the knife is such to where it has a double crossguard, so you have more protection for very heavy use. This particular one has the jungle camo finish on it. It's a sprayed-on gun coating. It offers additional protection against corrosion. So it works well in a variety of environmental conditions, and this particular knife has a lot of extra functionality built into it, but still yet the primary purpose is a working utility knife. The sheath system is basically the same as the belt knife I showed before, a little different design with an open top, and the belt loop is located closer to the top of the sheath, so it rides in a vertical carry method, a little lower, a little more comfortable, but it still has the horizontal capabilities. We also make a lot of hand axes. We have some specialty axes that are developed for primary breaching operations. We have some that have primarily combat and self-defense capabilities. This one falls more in one of those categories, although it does have a lot of just general purpose capability with it. Something relatively new that we're doing now is, because all of our axes are full tang design. We do a full tapered tang. Most of them start at a 3/8 inch thick steel, taper down to about an 1/8 inch at the end of the handle, and the handles are skeletonized. This throws the weight forward in the axe, so it's in the head where it primarily needs to be, so you get more power in the strike. It also reduces the overall weight to around 1.25 pounds to 1.5 pounds, so it's easy to carry. It's not cumbersome, and it's not so heavy that you want to leave it back at camp, rather than carry a piece of equipment that's just too much to lay around. We've recently started doing a half cord wrap on these, because with a full tang handle and the full handles, in woodcraft operations sometimes, such as splitting wood, you might drive the head of the axe completely through the wood, and then it impacts on the sides of the handle, and that can cause handle damage. So we're doing now this half cord wrap. So if you do sustain damage up near the head through hard use, you can just take that cord off and go to the store and buy another parachute cord and rewrap it, and it's back to its original function. And the reason we don't just put a handhold on it and leave the top of it is because most of our axes have secondary handholds. So you can hold it in a traditional manner of an axe and get the power out of it, but you also have a secondary handhold higher that now gives you the capability of doing much finer close quarter work with it. You could actually, say for example, a hunter could use this axe for skinning, caping, and doing field dressing of a large game. So we like to incorporate that secondary handhold into most of our axes, but then we also want to incorporate, let it to where it is a heavy use axe, and now you don't have just a damaged handle to carry. Axe carry systems, again, we try to make them as versatile as possible. This one has is a leather carrier with a swiveling belt loop, so it doesn't create a hang point when you're going into close quarter situations. It swings and moves out of the way, so it's not a rigid mount. We also have line Kydex carriers for most of our axes that also have a swiveling loop style carry system and a bungee retainer that's a little quicker access sometimes, but some of our axe designs we do offer a leather carrier as a secondary carry option. By the way, this was called the Wild Bill. This is an axe design that we developed for a particular agency but it's not it's not a specific design. It's available now to the general public. It's our most recent axe design that we've opened. On occasion, we'll develop a specialty tool that is a little outside the normal knife axe description, but they're all cutlery, of course, because that's all we make. This tool was developed as a result of conversations that I've had with some of the special operation teams and communities, where they told me about a potential problem that they were running into and looking for a solution to that. And that problem was when in close quarter combat, when they enter a room, sometimes don't know who's in there, and they were leading with their primary weapon. And it was not uncommon for somebody, say, to grab the end of the gun barrel and try to pull it out of their hands and use it against them. So this tool was designed to be worn initially. It was to be mounted on the front of a tactical vest. The sheath pivots, so you have access to it either right or left-handed. And it's not a highly lethal weapon, but it's got a lot of points. It's got coarse serrations, so anything you do with it, say to the arm or the face or the body of somebody that's trying to cause harm to you or your team members, with very little thought process, you can go into it and really create pain and make the adversary at a disadvantage, let go primarily of the primary weapon. It's also possible to continue holding it and still operate your primary and have more grip capability. And if you needed to, if it worked, you could always drop it and come out, pick it up later if you needed. But this is it's called a weapon retention tool, and that's one of our specialty items that we've recently been working on and developed.